Hello everyone, thank you for watching this tutorial video on how to register as a coach in Stack. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be using mostly demo information, but you should make sure that you're using accurate information that pertains to yourself. In addition, you should not be using Internet Explorer. You should be using Firefox or Chrome, as those are the two browsers that work best with Stack. In order to get started, we need to make sure that we're accessing the correct registration form for your league or club. This could have been provided to you in multiple ways. The first way is that you could have received an email with a direct link to register. If you received that direct link and you clicked on it, this page that we're looking at right now is not what you're going to be seeing. We'll catch up to you in just a second. The other option is that you might have been directed to go to your club or league's OSYSALive.com site, and that's what this is right here for our test club, right? It's test.osysalive.com. For you, it might be something along the lines of columbuseast.osysalive.com or girlssoutheast.osysalive.com, okay? If you need help to find your correct URL to get to where you can register, and this is again assuming you do not have a direct link already sent to you, you can actually go to osysa.com. If you go over here to Forms and Resources and down to Player Coach Carding, if you click on Stack Directory, it will bring you to this web page. And in the first two columns, you need to find your club or league, and then click the link in the middle column that pertains to your club or league, and that will take you to a page that will probably look very similar to this. Some of the clubs and leagues have opted to customize their websites, and that's great. If that's the case, then you'll just need to make sure that you locate where the Register Now buttons are for the coach, okay? There will be multiple Register Now buttons. One will pertain to player registration and one will pertain to coach registration, all right? Once you have found those, you can go ahead and click Register Now. Now, keep in mind, for the purposes of this demo, this is not only for coaches, but for anybody who has to register as a quote-unquote coach, okay? So you might be a board member, you might be a team manager, you might be a team admin, you might be a soccer trainer, you might be somebody who works at the concession stand. Anyone who's in regular and routine contact with a child is required to register in Stack. So if you have been told to register in Stack as a coach, then you're in the right place, and we're gonna help you get registered, okay? For those of you who are watching this and trying to register, but who registered in a season prior, so last year at any point during the 2018-2019 season, that's fall 2018 or spring 2019, then this page actually should have populated with your login already, and you just need to sign in, and you'll again be ahead of us, all right? For those of you who are sent the direct link by your league or club, this page is probably what you're looking at. And if you're new, then you're going to create an account. If you're returning, then like I just said, it should have your user auto-populated. If it doesn't, you can go ahead and enter it and sign on. Again, for this demo, we're going to say that we're new. All right, so we're going to go new here, create an account. Okay. When we do that, it takes us to this page where we're going to go ahead and enter an email address. So as I do that, something important to keep in mind is that registration essentially occurs in two parts. There's the creation of the member account, and then there's the registration itself, okay? What we're going through right now is the creation of the member account, and then we will hit the registration form. For those of you who have maybe already signed up a child, your child, or who signed up to coach last year, you already have a member account established, and so you've already signed in with your account, or you should have done that. prior to this point, so you're not seeing this, and we'll again catch up to you in just a second. Okay, so I'm going to finish filling this out. Oops, test.com. I'm going to type in a password here. Perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and select create my Stack Sports account. Again, I'm using dummy info. You should be using accurate info, or like a legitimate email address. Okay. And hit create my Stack Sports account. All right. And as we're waiting for this to load, here it's going to bring us to this page. On this page, go ahead and enter your information. I'm going to go ahead and use the Ohio South office for mine, but you should use accurate information for yours. Columbia Road, we're in Mainville, Ohio, 45039. Phone number, I'm just going to use this. So here you can choose if this is a mobile phone, a home phone, or a work phone. The reason why I asked for a mobile phone carrier if you select mobile is because through the Team Connect app, which is available to you for free if you so desire, or if your league or club is asking you to use it, you can send text messages through that app to communicate with your team, with the parents on your team. And so for some of these carriers, text rates apply. So that's why they ask you to clarify who you're with. I'm actually going to go ahead and hit home, and then I'm going to go ahead and say sign in. All right, so should bring you to a page that looks like this, where we have to choose someone to register. For those of you who had the direct link, I believe that we're caught up with you now. It should be asking you this as well. So from here on out, everybody should be on the same page. This is who I just created a member account for. So that portion is done. Step 1 is done. We're now on to step 2, where we're actually registering into the club or league's actual event, where they'll be able to see you. So I'm going to click myself, and I'm going to hit add registration for selected person. On the next page, you really only have one option, which is Coach Pool. If you have multiple options here besides Coach Pool, or you don't even have Coach Pool, you should reach out to your club or league admin, excuse me, because that means that their event is probably set up incorrectly. All right. Coach Pool is where we want to go. By registering once to the Coach Pool, it allows us to be assigned to multiple teams if necessary. So regardless of whether you're a rec coach or a competitive coach, you're going to want to register to the Coach Pool, and you only need to do it once, and then your club or league admin can assign you to your team from there. For the rec side of things, that's really only going to happen if the league is using this to form teams and give you rosters, right? Not all of our rec league members are doing that. So just a word of caution there. But regardless, Coach Pool is what we want. We're going to hit continue to register information. This brings us to the form. Let's go ahead and start filling this out. Please note that your first and last name were carried over from the information that you put in for yourself when you created your member account. That should be your legal first and last name, okay? That's how we're going to match your background check to your account. So let's say your name is John, but you go by JD, right? If this says JD in the first name slot, then we're going to have to get that corrected. And that's going to be work for you. It's going to be work for your admin. So the best thing you can do is to go back and edit that inside your member account. If you need assistance doing that, you can contact Stack Support, okay? So this should be your legal first and last name. You can go ahead and enter a nickname there. I'm not going to. I don't need to. This is all pre-populated information from what I just filled out. Mobile phone, please go ahead and fill that out. I'm not going to for the sake of time, because this might be quite lengthy video. Email looks good. Birth date, I'm just going to go ahead and put 1988. If you see this field right here that says required, that means you have to put something in there, okay? You can't progress unless that's filled out. For gender, I'm going to go ahead and hit male. I'm going to say that I'm a coach, but if you're a board member, whoever you are, and you can find yourself here, please go ahead and click that so that we can so that you can help us monitor who's who. That's information that we're going to be interested in at the end of the season, just to see, how many of each we have, and if we need to make some adjustments. Okay. As we scroll down, we're going to get to all the different usual things that you have to do every season. So we've got the Ohio Return to Play law. You can go ahead and sign that. This is the information for it. You can follow those links if you have questions, but you should be familiar with that if you coached in the past. Okay. This is Lindsay's law. You should be familiar with that regardless of whether or not you're a parent who's also coaching, or if you're just a coach. You can also access all that information using the links contained therein. As we scroll down, we get to the background check information. Please fill this out as accurately as possible. So, have you ever been convicted of a crime involved in the welfare of a child? No. Of a crime against a person? No. Violence? No. Employment? No. Have not been failed to be reemployed. Down here, we get to previous residencies. If you need to fill this out, you should. That will help us. Again, this is all information that we're going to reference in case there's something that comes back negative with your background check. That will be helpful information for us that might allow us to clear you faster. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to go ahead and scroll through that and not worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and add my signature and put the date. All right. So if you are registering as a rec coach, if you caught it in the beginning, right now I'm currently in a competitive coach registration. So you're going to see this box if you're a competitive coach or on the competitive side of things. If you're on the rec side of things, it will look a little different, because for the rec side, you do not have to upload a photo. Okay. For the competitive side, only coaches need to upload a photo. So if you are, for example, a board member, but you're also a coach, yes, you'll need to put in a photo. Okay. We'll get to how to do that in the next step. But these are instructions, so you may want to take a moment to write those down, and I'll review them in the next step as well. This is about the coach pool here, which we have already reviewed. And then this box is actually a little outdated already. So you can just not worry about that at this time. I'll clarify that as we go forward here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click continue to photos. All right. So it's giving us a warning here because my email address could not be found in what is called the Digital Learning Center. Okay, it's now called the Digital Learning Center. It used to be called the DCC. This lingo has not been updated by STAC yet. Okay, the Digital Learning Center is where U.S. Soccer, if you take a coaching license through them, that information, when you sign up to take the course, you sign up for an account in the Digital Learning Center, and that is where your information on the license will be contained. All right. If the email that you signed up with in STAC cannot be found for an account in the DLC, it's going to throw up this warning, right? Because it wants to try to sync that information. And specifically on the competitive side of things here, that's going to be key if you're a coach who is participating in Mosul, MVYSA, Ohio South State League, and I believe Buckeye as well. Okay, because they require the coaches to have some sort of license. So they can easily see that information when it syncs from the DCC. So if you're seeing this, you're going to want to update the email to the same email address that you signed up to take your coaching course with, okay? So whatever your account in the Digital Learning Center is, under whatever email that is, it should be the same email here, okay? So you can update email if you need to do that. For this, I'm not going to. We're going to hit keep email and continue because I'm not going to take more time to do that. Okay. All right. Next, we hit the photos. With the photos, go ahead and hit choose file. Again, if you're on the rec side of things, doesn't matter if you're a board member, if you're an admin, or if you're a coach, you do not need to upload a photo. For the competitive side, only the coaches need to upload a file or upload a photo. And the reason for that is because you're carded, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and hit choose file. Just gonna bring this up. It's going to ask me to sign in for whatever reason. I'm just going to hit cancel, and then it'll say there's an error. So you hit X, and then you try again. It will bring it up. So if that's happening for you, just try it again. Select a file from the computer. I'm going to just select my goofy picture here. I'm going to try to center it over my head because this only needs to be a headshot. I'm not wearing sunglasses, no hats. There's nothing too distracting in the background like other people or animals or anything, so that looks good. I'm going to hit crop and save. And what that will do is it will crop and save the photo. And in just a second, it will close this box out and load the picture. There we go. All right, so that looks good enough for me, as I am registering in the competitive side of things, so I did want to put a photo in there. Again, if you're on the rec side, you don't need to put in a photo. You can just go ahead and hit continue to waivers. Now that I have a photo in, I am going to hit continue to waivers. And this is where we hit the background check screening. This is very important. Please take a minute, slow down, and read through this, okay? Ohio South has recently moved from RSI to NCSI as our background check provider. And when we did that, there was not a full integration into Stack, okay? So there's an external link that you'll need to click on to submit a background check. Those links are here. There's two that are important for you. You can click here to gain instructions on how to submit your background check. It's very straightforward, but this will help you through the process. So that's how you get to instructions. You can click here to submit your background check screening. And when you click on that, and it opens up this page, and you scroll down and you select the appropriate box for you, okay? So if you're a competitive coach or a competitive board member or a competitive club admin or team admin for a competitive team, click here. If you're on the rec side or the Top Soccer side, Top Soccer is the special needs program for kids with disabilities. Okay, it's a really great program. We absolutely love it. If you're on either of those, you'll click here. Please note that on the competitive side, there is a cost associated with completing the background check. It's $18, so be prepared to pay that. For some of you, your club may have opted to purchase codes that will negate that cost, and if that's the case, they should have given those to you. If you need to verify whether or not your club did that, you should contact your club admin, okay? On the rec side, there is no cost for the background check, so you can go ahead and click and run through that, okay? And for either one, you're going to continue as a guest, and you'll see that as you reference the instructions here, okay? So please note that we're going to know if you register to the wrong one. Okay, so if you're on the competitive side and you're thinking, oh, well, I can get a free background check if I go to rec. No, we're going to catch you and we're going to correct you. Okay, we monitor that closely. So do not do that. Let's be honest and truthful here, okay? This third box, again, you don't need to worry about that. You're going to either click competitive or rec/tops, okay? All right. Important to note as well, you are not done registering in Stack. So these are external links. That's why they opened up in a new window. Once you've completed your background screening, you're going to want to return to this page, accept the waiver, and continue. Now, for those of you who might be wondering, well, I just did a background check last year. Yes, so if you registered in Stack, which means you would have submitted a background check last year, that check is good for 2 years, okay? That means that you do not have to do this part. You can go ahead and click the box and hit continue to review, all right? If you did not register at all in STAC last year, so in the fall of 2018 or the spring of 2019, then you do need to submit a background check, okay? If we don't get one for you, we're gonna chase you down because it is mandatory, okay? So once we've submitted the check, we come back here. I'm gonna accept the waiver, and then I'm gonna hit continue to review. This all looks good to me. There shouldn't be any fees for you, so we're gonna go ahead and hit confirm registration. Excuse me. All right, so we have successfully registered. There's gonna be an ad that pops up. You can just hit X. We have successfully registered into our league or club system as a coach. That's great. The next thing that we want to do is we have to make sure that we get all the required documents. And this is going to be particular for both sides. So I will explain this to you now. So we're going to go ahead and click Return to Member Account. Okay. When you click on that, it should bring you back to this page. Now, if you've already registered your kids, this will look familiar to you. And your information actually might not be on the left side. It might be on the right side. And your kids' information will be on the left. Might be vice versa as well, okay? Anyone who signs up as a coach in the system, even if you're not one, is going to have 3 upload slots here under coaching documents, okay? You can see the picture that we submitted earlier, and that looks good, all right? Every coach is required to do several things, and I'll explain these as best I can. So for the concussion training, okay, this really pertains only to coaches, board members, admins, managers. You do not have to go through the concussion training, all right? There's 2 concussion trainings that Ohio South accepts. The first one is through the CDC. It's called the Heads Up training. The other one is through the National High School, and that one is perfectly acceptable as well. In order to upload your certificate, you may have already taken the training. So in order to upload it, you click Learn More. It will open up a new window here, and you can go ahead and hit Upload Certificate. If you need to take the training, you can go ahead and click Start Your Training, okay? This has the CDC logos, but you can also upload the National High School certificate right here if necessary, okay? So it doesn't matter which one you take, you can upload either one here, all right? Again, concussion training is only for coaches, okay? And the leagues will check that to make sure that it's valid. Once you've taken the training, it is good for 3 years, okay? So if you took your last concussion training in June of 2016, considering it's August of 2019, it is no longer valid. You need to retake it, okay? And then it will give you the certificate. You come back here and upload it when you're done, all right? The next slot is something that everybody's going to have to do, regardless of whether or not you're a coach, a board member, an admin, doesn't matter. Abuse prevention is actually Safe Sport, okay? We've asked them to try to change the name or give us the flexibility to change the name. That hasn't happened yet. We're hoping it happens soon. But abuse prevention equals Safe Sport, okay? In order to access it, you're going to click Begin Training. For some of you, for those of you who signed up last year and uploaded something to this slot last year, it's going to say Manage. In order to get it to say Begin Training, what you need to do is contact your league or club admin and tell them that you have something uploaded to the abuse prevention slot from prior year, and they need to go back into your old registration from last year and remove the document that's there. Once they do that and you hit refresh, then it will no longer say Manage, it will say Begin Training, okay? When we hit the Begin Training button, it's going to open up this page, which will give you information about Safe Sport. It'll give you a code. You don't need to copy the code. You can if you want, but we're going to go ahead and click Begin Safe Sport Training. This training takes anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, so be prepared to spend some time on it. You can leave and come back. Not sure I really recommend that, but again, the choice is yours, okay? It will auto-populate once the page finishes loading to US Soccer, and it'll automatically place the code in there. Okay, and that code negates the cost to complete SafeSport. All right, you guys have access to this free through Ohio South because we are members of US Soccer. Okay, so that looks good. We're gonna go ahead and hit save, and then if I were to do this with you, we would create our SafeSport account. Okay. Something very important to note, there's an API that connects the SafeSport system to the Stack system. And what happens is when that API connects, it carries your successfully completed status of SafeSport back to your Stack account, okay? And your club or league admin will be able to see that you have successfully completed the training, okay? It's gonna turn a little button green for them to see, okay? You do not need to upload your SafeSport certificate into here as long as you've completed it successfully. And there are 5 criteria that must match in your Stack account as well as your SafeSport account, okay? If any one of these 5 that I'm about to tell you is off, then the API will not connect and you'll have to upload your certificate, okay? Those 5 criteria are first name, last name, date of birth, gender, and email. So the most common that we've seen is email. If the email doesn't match, then it's not gonna carry that completion status back into Stack, okay? Same, I think the second most common is probably the first or last name, right? So again, it's going back to the John versus JD thing, okay? If you signed up as JD in here, but you signed up as John in Stack, it's not going to carry that, okay? They have to match, all right? Cool. So that's really SafeSport. Again, if you have already completed your SafeSport training, maybe you coach volleyball or coach baseball, they are also required to do SafeSport because they are an Olympic sport, and you've already done it, you can go ahead and upload your certificate here. You don't need to go through the whole training again, okay? Also, if you took SafeSport a year ago and you need to do the refresher course, you can access that through the Begin SafeSport training. The SafeSport training is valid for 1 year, okay? All right. That is pretty much it for SafeSport, okay? In terms of the final one here, safety or additional certification, Ohio South does not have any sort of requirement for that. So there's nothing that you need to upload here. The only caveat to this is there are some leagues in Ohio South, competitive leagues, who are asking that coaches who cannot get the US Soccer Digital Learning Center license to sync into their account, they should upload their coaching license here. Okay, and the ones that I know of off the top of my head are Mosul and MVYSA, and I believe that same rule applies, for OSSL as well as I think for Buckeye. Okay. Otherwise, if your account is connected to the Digital Learning Center, and your club or league admin will be able to tell you that, then you have nothing to do here. Okay. Lastly, background check. So this shows that I'm not cleared with a thumbs down. Once you're cleared, it will say cleared with a green thumbs up. The background check takes 5 to 10 days to clear. Okay, so have a little bit of patience. If after 10 days still says not cleared, you should contact Steve Wood in our office. Okay. The office phone number is 513-576-9555. All right. And Steve deals with all the background checks and all the risk stuff, so he'll be able to help you with that. Okay. Additionally, for those of you who are returning and registered with an account that was created last year, you would have cleared your background check already, most likely. So your status should have automatically come over. Again, if it didn't, you can go ahead and contact Steve. But it should have come over. So you should have a cleared green thumbs up if you are registering with an account, the same account that you used last year. Okay. In terms of coaches, that's really it. So just to confirm, coaches need to do concussion training. They need to upload their certificate. They need to complete Safe Sport, and if their DLC is not connected, they need to upload their certificate or their coaching license here. For every other adult who's registering as a coach, you do not need to add a photo. You do not need to complete concussion training. You do need to submit a background check, and you do need to complete Safe Sport. All right. So hopefully you found this helpful, and all the best with this next season.